My name is Erin Schumack. I am the Student Success Advocate at Penn State Altoona, and I have the distinct honor of kicking off our event here tonight. So welcome and thank you for being here to celebrate the induction of the inaugural memberships into the Alpha 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 Honor Society, Theta Chi chapter, recognizing the academic achievement of first-generation college students.
I want to take you just a minute to let you know a little bit about the history and principles of Alpha Alpha Alpha. The logo, or key, includes the number 2018, the year in which Alpha Alpha Alpha, or Tri-Alpha for short, was founded. The logo is a star in the center of several circles indicating the various communities in which you are a part. The community of Penn State Altoona, the community of Altoona, and the community in the wider region and wider world where we all come from. The star represents you as a star in your family, lighting the way for others to follow your lead into higher education. Just as the stars in the heavens above have guided mariners and travelers in the days of old, remember that you are this beacon of light to someone else, and you have the responsibility to lead others to the light.
The pin which you will receive as part of your induction includes the logo as well as the words First Gen, so that everyone who sees you wearing this pin will recognize the importance of this journey for you. Sorry. The cords which you will receive the year of your graduation are blue and gray, using the colors of the Moravian University where the society was founded. The colors are intertwined to demonstrate the connection we all have with each other. Sue?
So now comes a really important part. I'm going to ask all of those who are being inducted tonight to please stand. Being first can be hard. Being first can be scary. Being first can also be exciting. As part of the first generation in your family to go to college, you are a source of pride and guidance to others. By accepting membership in the Tri-Alpha Honor Society, you recognize your responsibility to your family and to future generations of first, to finish what you started, to be their compass leading them to their destination when the way seems uncertain, to be their light in darkness, and to support others in their own journey of first. By accepting membership in the Tri-Alpha Honor Society, you accept the obligation of thanking those who paved the way before you and who made this journey possible for you. By accepting membership in the Tri-Alpha Honor Society, you accept the responsibility of helping others as you have been helped, or as you perhaps wish you may have been helped, to serve as mentors and guides, as the first in your family or circle of friends. To serve as mentors and guides for the next group of students to step foot on a college campus as the first in their family or circle of friends. By accepting membership in the Tri-Alpha Honor Society, you have an obligation to take pride in your achievements and share your story so that others learn of your accomplishments and can share in the joy of your successes. If you accept these responsibilities, please respond with, "I do." You may be seated. One of the unique pieces tonight is both Erin and I are also first-generation college students. So Erin has agreed to share a few stories with you about what makes being a first-generation college student important to her and her story.
So I don't have a script for this. So I would share as far as my story. When I was a kid, somewhere along the line, I started this mantra of, I'm going to go to college someday. I'm not sure exactly where it came from. I think it had something to do with watching the people in my family work themselves so hard physically, busting their bodies, busting their hands. And somewhere in my mind, I thought, if I go to college, that won't have to happen to me. I also recall my mom going and earning a certificate. It was called the Computer Learning Network. And I think that was also a catalyst for having a drive and feeling like education was important, seeing that example. As I said, I would start repeating this mantra to myself that I was going to go to college someday. And I actually had a person, an adult in my life that really questioned that and left a mark in my mind and kind of said, I don't know if that's really realistic for you. And that stuck with me. I often joke, I don't know how much of a joke it really is, that some of my accomplishments in life were really driven by spite, but that was one of them. That was a big one. So anyhow, so I applied to Penn State Altoona. It was the only school that I applied to and got in and knew absolutely nothing. And as I work with students here, which is a incredible honor to me that I don't take lightly every day, but I try to break the ice and let students know that I belong on the wall somewhere as the most clueless person that ever walked this campus. So please don't ever feel like there's a silly question or something you can't ask me. I was an exploratory student known as DUS, and really all I knew is I wanted to help people. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't really understand that there were majors. I kind of thought that if I just showed up and slapped through the same way I did in high school, and I did pretty good slapping through in high school, I thought things would be just fine. It did not work out that way. My first semester was the first time in my life I earned a D grade, 2 of them as a matter of fact. And my GPA was a 2.13, and my roommate let me know that I barely passed. So that was a nice courtesy for her to explain that to me. But and this is a story I share with students sometimes too, that I can still remember very clearly, even though this is actually, ironically, my 20-year anniversary this spring, graduating from Penn State Altoona. But I remember very clearly sitting on the curb down there where the bus stop still sits, waiting for a friend to pick me up. I was on my own, paying my own room and board and things like that. I didn't have a car, so I was stuck sitting on the curb waiting for a friend. And we had just finished finals, and I was absolutely wiped out. And I don't know, I like to run a little bit, maybe not as good as some of my friends I see in the audience who are amazing runners, but if you've ever ran a marathon or anything like that, or half in my case, sometimes the math, when you're really overwhelmed, the math doesn't math. And I remember sitting there and thinking, because once in a marathon I was trying to count from 11 to 13, a half marathon, 11 to 13, I couldn't remember how many miles were in between. But sitting on the curb down there, I remember sitting there and going, okay, so if it's 4 years, that's 8 semesters, right? Because you do it twice in a year. And so I just did 1. I got to do this 7 more times. And just thinking there's no way. There's no way. And I remember very clearly sitting there and thinking, okay, just 1 more. Just for the spite, just to prove people wrong. I'm going to get through a year. Okay, fine, I'll agree to a year. And so I went, finished spring semester, did significantly better academically. And then by the end of that first year, then that feeling had shifted, and I kind of thought, wow, okay, so I already have a whole year down. Okay, maybe I'll do 1 more year. I'll make it to the halfway point. So I committed to that. And by the time I got to that halfway point, or to the second year being completed, and having that moment of thinking holy smokes, somehow I made it through halfway. I'm already halfway. And then after that, it was just kind of smooth sailing. So anyhow, those are some of the highlights that come to mind when I think about being first gen. There's privilege, I think, is a sliding scale. There's certainly some things I have that I'm privileged with. I think that there can be layers to adversity, and one of the additional layers there for me was also low income. So, there was a lot of financial challenges and things like that, and sometimes even having maybe people within your support network that don't understand, or maybe see you taking the hard road. That can be hard, because sometimes it's difficult to even articulate why would I do this to myself. So anyhow, as an undergrad, it became my dream to work in higher ed. It took me some years to get there. I didn't get my master's till I was an adult learner. about 10 years after getting my undergrad. So, as I said, it is absolutely an honor for me to be here, to be a part of this. I cannot say enough. I didn't think through this, obviously, because I'm probably rambling, but there are so many people to thank, and some of them are in the room here. So I just will leave it at that. I'm incredibly honored to be part of it and part of this initiative here tonight. And I'm so grateful for everybody who decided to join. It's just tremendous. So thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
So now comes the really fun part. We're going to start with our students. I'm going to invite Erin back up. She ran away a little too fast. And we're going to invite you to come up. We're going to invite you to come up this side, walk across here, and we'll have stuff for you. Your certificate, your pin. I'm going to invite the Lion, who might want to come up here and be able to shake hands as you're coming off the stage. There also is a journal over on that table. It will be the Tri Alpha Theta Chi journal that will live at Penn State Altoona. Please sign your name to that journal. You're going to be the first names in it, and it will become part of Penn State Altoona history.
Thanks, Sue. And I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm going to do my very best to get the names pronunciations correct. That's really important to me. So please feel free to correct me if need be. Okay, could we have, and I'm just kind of looking here, it looks like it's in alphabetical order, so you could kind of prepare yourself. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Chelsea Davis. Do you want me to keep going? Okay. Well, we'll wait till she gets. Eve Ergler. Hans Esteban. Kiana is not with us tonight, but Kiana Habenak. Alexis Hendrickson. Clarissa Hennebury. Sarah Ann Hyde. Jessica Henry. Pamela Lance. McKenna Mayer. Asia, excuse me? Anissa. Oh, it's misspelled. I'm so sorry. Anissa Miller. JD Pencil. Mackenzie Quirin. Rebecca Reeder. Kylie Rochelle. Delaney Russell. Mallory Smith. Leah Tippett. Lam Vo. And I just remembered it's Lam Vo. He did correct me earlier. Angelina Wagner. Vendala Wetzel. Serena Zhu.
Please give one more round of applause for all of our student inductees. At this time, we'd like to welcome Chancellor Ron Darboux up to the front. He is also a first-generation student, and we've asked him, the same as Aaron, to share a little of his story.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to begin first by thanking Aaron and Sue and the rest of the team for making this possible. As Aaron very nicely elucidated, the journey through college is a hard one. Getting into college is hard. Navigating college is hard. It is especially hard when you're first. Without someone else to guide you who's walked the path before, it is hard to discover a pathway on your own. So my parents did not finish high school. And of my 6 siblings, only one finished high school. So there was nobody. I went to high school, finished, and wanted to teach because I had the benefit of having some really good teachers, particularly in science, and I wanted to teach science. And was told, well, you got to get a college degree. It was the first time I knew what college was. That is the difference between having walked a path and being open to a world that simply did not exist. The first time I knew there was such a thing as college was when I finished high school. Applied to college, got on the campus, knew nobody, didn't know what a registrar's office was. I knew I wanted to do chemistry, so I found a chemistry building, because you could find it by the smell, and arrived on the campus, and I had someone there, he turned out now to be one of my mentors, sort of took me under his wing and helped me navigate the first week. And it was lonely that first week. But a week became a month, a month became a semester. And my experience was a little bit different from Erin's. I aced my first semester. And it suddenly dawned on me, I could do this. What was great is that I started finding others for whom this was the first time they were exposed to it. And we formed a network and began to support each other along the journey. Several of them turned out to have been chemistry majors. And to this day, something like 40 years later, I still contact those folks as friends. Being the first in your family to have a college degree means a lot. It turns out you will also be first to earn a master's degree, first to earn a PhD. You'll probably be the first to own a business, to go to medical school, to go to law school, to be an engineer, to be a lawyer, you name it. You are blazing a trail of what is possible for people who, like me, never dreamed it. And one of the things that's really true is if you can't conceive it, you cannot achieve it. And seeing someone in your family remove the shackles and make it inspires many others. So while I was the first in my family to go to college, to get a master's and a PhD degree, I have nieces and nephews who have master's degrees. And my voice is choking up. I hear from my brothers and sisters how much they said as they were growing up, I want to be like Uncle Ron. My journey made it possible for others. I have 4 kids. I've got one who's finishing med school this May, one who will finish vet school next May, one who will start med school in the fall. My youngest daughter is going to start college next fall. Made possible because they saw myself and my wife navigate. Do not underestimate the importance this has for your life, and it means a lot because a college degree opens doors. And when those doors are stubborn, a college degree will knock them down. And what you do for yourself, but by God, there are troves of people waiting to be inspired by you. What you do matters. This is a tough road to hoe, and I want you to know you are not alone. And when you get your cords, you wear them when you cross the stage at graduation. When you get your pin, you wear it proudly. That is a badge of honor. It takes a lot to be first. And not a single one of you sitting here is devoid of the mindset or the skill set to do this and to do it well. If ever you feel that you need someone to talk to, Sue, Erin, my office is in Smith, 107. You come find us. And we will remind you of the power and the potency that you have. This is not beyond you. And I am proud of each and every one of you for being brave enough, for being inspired enough to walk this journey, because it takes a lot. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to work through the induction of the faculty and staff positions. Oh, sorry, my guide just jumped. As an initiation which is committed to serving, as an institution which is committed to serving first-generation college students, Penn State Altoona welcomes first-generation college graduates to faculty and staff positions. Like you, these faculty and staff blazed a trail to higher education for their families and now serve as role models for you and our first-generation students. And recognizing their accomplishments, we demonstrate that being the first to attend college is one thing, finishing is another, while mentoring and assisting others in positions that may be some of the best service a first-generation graduate can provide. At this time, we admit to the Alpha to Alpha Alpha Alpha, the following first-generation college graduates on our faculty and staff with all of the rights and privileges of full membership in our organization. Again, we ask that the audience hold applause until the names of all the faculty and staff inductees have read. And if you could please come up when your name is read. And again, it's in alphabetical order, so you could prepare yourself. Brent Baird. Thank you. I saw Brent smile. Susan Marie Brundage. Marissa Carney. Dr. Ron Darbo. Kimberly DeHaynett. Deborah Deckert Flagg. Danny Fry. Victoria Hesser. Oh yeah, take your time. Deb Hammer. Megan Keener. Thanks. Dr. Lara Ladage. Janelle Lockard. Erin McConnell. Kitty Mussett. Kylie Myers. That was wonderful. Dr. Laura Palmer. Sue Patterson. Such an honor to work with Sue. Ricky Desiree Pentland. Oh, take your time. Oh.
Aaron M. Schumack.
Thank you. Dr. Jeff Stoyanov. Amy Giuliano.
This is a pretty impressive room of people that I get the honor of standing up here and looking out at. Let's just take a moment to give a big round of applause for everyone here. In our closing, take a moment to look around you, around your full circle here. You are the star in the middle of someone else's circle, just as you are in the circle surrounding someone else's star. You are all connected here in this society and in this community. But remember, as Shakespeare once said, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Go forth and live in the light. Congratulations and thank you for being with us on this night. If you have not signed your name in that journal, please make sure you do so. If you are one of our students who's getting ready to graduate this year, cords are being provided for you and wear them with honor at graduation. Otherwise, make sure you visit with the Lion, grab some pictures, have food, celebrate. This is a time of celebration and honor for all the amazing people that are here. Thank you.